Was the 90s the best decade ever? Cheesy family sitcoms on TGIF, limitless toys from every cartoon that aired. If you were born between 1985 to around 1990, then congratulations, you had the best childhood ever. Whoa, bro, what about the 80s, kid? Freaking Transformers and G.I. Joe?
Leg warmers, Jerry curl. Where's the beat? Excuse me, miss. What color is Michael Jackson?
Black.
Freaking Goonies, kid? That truffle shuffle doesn't lie, bro.
Megatron agrees.
Yes, the 80s kids had a pretty sweet time in the 90s as well, but the 80s shaped and formed the 90s into the amazingness that it was. The popularity of 80s toys, cartoons, and television shows, combined with the disposable income of the 90s, created the perfect recipe for the best decade to be a kid. We had the best of your childhood through reruns and hand-me-downs, combined with our own era of new and exciting things. So if it weren't for the 80s, the 90s wouldn't have been nearly as rad. That's right, you gonna learn, bro.
Don't give me that attitude, you guys. I'm doing it all for you.
But this video isn't necessarily about whether or not the culture was better at that time, or whether Power Rangers could beat G.I. Joe, which they definitely could. Power Rangers all day, bro. It's more so about growing up as a kid during that time and what it was like. 90s kids are considered a generation of nostalgia, and rightly so for many reasons. One of our biggest reasons for nostalgia is the technological advancement during that time. It progressed at such a rapid rate that we can clearly remember moving and flowing to better and more advanced technology through our childhood and into adulthood. We went from corded phones to the cell phone to the smartphone, and we went from Nintendo Entertainment System to PlayStation to Xbox. Technology has advanced to the point where it would take 5 PlayStation 2s to equal the computing power of a handheld phone like the Galaxy S6. And all that tech is obsolete now. And the funny thing is, our childhood wasn't even really tech-based. Most of my childhood was spent outside riding my bike, skateboarding, rollerblading, but technology slowly started to take over our lives as we got older. With instant gratification at our fingertips via smartphone or the internet, using our imagination to play outside is a foreign concept, or at the very least reserved for toddlers or little kids.
Deborah was too fat to play outside. Bullies were very prevalent in the 80s, and his big dumb butt was the perfect target, because you couldn't miss it.
My generation remembers the fine line between life before technology and life consumed by technology. We remember a simpler time just like our grandparents did.
Before all those newfangled what's-a-who's-its came along and complicated the hell out of my life.
We were smack dab.
This ain't how you dab, Susan. This is how you dab, Susan. So
in the middle of the tech boom. My generation is torn between our love for technology and the simplicity that it's brought to our lives, but we yearn for the time before we actually relied so fully on technology. And part of the reason the tech boom flourished was partly due to the economic surge in the 90s. Surge? I freaking love that drink, bro. Coke needs to bring back that sweet nectar of the gods in a 2-liter form so I can do some heavy late night gaming, bro.
Yeah, sure. Like you need a reason to stay up till 4 a.m. playing video games.
Beat-ups! According to a publication from AEI, between 1992 and 1999, the economy grew by an average of 4% per year. To put that into perspective, since 2005, the year I graduated high school, you old bro, you getting old, okay? It hasn't even grown by 3% for a whole year. Not only did the economy grow, but unemployment dropped from 8% to 4%, while the average income grew by 10% over the decade. In layman's terms, we were knee-deep in new gadgets and money, bro. It was like that OJ song. Generation X was promised that computers would never replace them, although they have, displacing many Gen Xers with no marketable skills. Millennials were promised a bright and successful future if we worked hard and attended college, but we entered a rough economic market and were left with insurmountable debt and a stigma of laziness.
Seems like the generation gap isn't as big as we once thought. We can all bond over our bitterness.
Or bond over their nostalgia. And I think that's the difference. We might be bitter for a time that is now lost, just like every generation experiences some form of nostalgia. But now that 30-somethings are in careers of marketing, publications, and content production, we're bringing our love of nostalgia with us. And this can definitely rub people the wrong way. Not everyone is nostalgic for the 90s like I am. A very salty article from the New York Post, cynically written by most definitely a guy pushing his mid-40s, titled "90s Culture Was Awful and All the Nostalgia Is Nonsense," begs to differ with my love of the 90s. I didn't read the entire article, but I assume it ended with,
"And I was fired from my job because I have no clue what I'm talking about. Apparently the 90s wasn't awful, I am awful. Finn."
Okay, so that might have been a little bit exaggerated, but who the hell cares? And now it's time for my favorite portion of the show, Irma's Crapometer. How much of a crap should you really give about this episode?
Okay, well, today's episode just gets one big flaming bag of crap. I don't know what... That was a bit of a rant, but I suppose it explains why your generation is so obsessed with nostalgia. I'm just nostalgic for the days before Jeremy. Oh, sweet freedom.
That does it for today, dudes. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to show your support and hit that like button. Do you guys have a favorite toy from your childhood that you miss? Let me know down there in the comments section, dudes. And until next time, peace out. What it do? What do you think? Tell him. Tell him. What do you think?